Do you know what it feels like to be erased by your own blood? Not screamed at, not cursed, but cut out so cleanly it feels like a scalpel through the soul. That's what my family did to me. And the irony? They did it while boarding my yacht, thinking it was theirs. I grew up in the Corrigan house. That's what people called it. A stone fortress on Beacon Street, windows tall enough to watch the city kneel beneath us. Inside, it wasn't a home, it was a museum curated for appearances. The rugs were so expensive we weren't allowed to actually walk on them. Portraits of dead ancestors stared down at me from every wall, as if to remind me that I was temporary. At dinner, my father lectured mergers like they were bedtime stories. My mother perfected her smile in the reflection of silver cutlery. My brother Leo rehearsed investment terms he barely understood, desperate to sound older, sharper, colder. And me? I tried to earn a love that never came. Perfect grades, trophies lined up like soldiers on my desk. Every ribbon I won, every exam I aced, I prayed it would unlock something in them. A hug, a word, anything. It never did. My father's voice never rose. He didn't need it to. His calm dismissals were sharper than any slap. Good. Now, how will you do better next term? That was his version of love. My mother's affection came in critiques. Stand straighter. Speak softer. Never, ever show them your weakness. So, I learned to suffocate myself for approval that never arrived. By 25, I cracked. The finance job my father pushed me into had become a coffin with glass walls. I remember locking myself in the bathroom, gripping the sink as panic clawed at my throat, begging just to breathe. That's when I walked out. I typed my resignation and left the office forever. My family laughed. My brother called it a phase. My mother worried about what to tell her charity circle. My father didn't even flinch. She's playing with boats, he said. Because that's where I had gone, down to the docks in Newport. I scrubbed decks, learned ropes, breathed salt air, until my lungs finally remembered what freedom felt like. What they didn't know was that I stayed, that I worked, that every scraped knuckle, every sleepless night at the marina was building something bigger than the empire they tried to chain me to. I built a fleet, not for their approval, not for revenge, but for myself. Then, years later, came the message. A text from my mother. Just one line. This year's cruise is for successful families only. You'll understand. I read it until the words blurred. That old ache came back, the one carved in me since childhood. You are never enough. I almost laughed at the irony. They had no idea. They had booked my flagship vessel, the Seraphine, without realizing who owned her. I didn't tell them. Not right away. But when Taylor, my business partner, found out, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "You've let them write your story long enough. Now you finish it." So the morning of the cruise, I waited. I watched them board from the shadows of the parking lot. My brother barking at dockhands like a king without a crown. My mother descending the gangway like cameras were watching. My father carrying himself with that entitled grace of a man who believes the ocean exists to serve him. Only when they were gone did I step forward. Linen pants, navy blouse, keys in my hand. My mother spotted me first. Her smile faltered. "Aria," she hissed. "This cruise is for successful families." I was very clear. Before I could respond, Captain Monroe stepped onto the deck. His voice rang out. "Welcome aboard, Miss Corrigan. The Seraphine is prepared for your arrival." The silence that followed was sweeter than any applause. My father's face drained of certainty. My mother's hands shook. My brother froze. I let the keys dangle in the air, the family crest gleaming on the brass fob. "Well," I said quietly, "it's my yacht. So I think I'll stay." That night, the storm hit. The sea rose like a beast from the deep, waves hammering the hull until even the chandeliers trembled. My mother stumbled into the dining salon, shawls dripping, shrieking, "This isn't normal. Do something." My father clung to the rail, pale. Leo was green, doubled over. And me? I didn't waste time on panic. I sprinted for the bridge, rain slashing my face, hair whipped by the wind. I barked orders to the crew, my voice steady, every command cutting through thunder. Adjust 5 degrees east. Stabilizers max hold the line. Lightning lit the sky, and there they were, my family, watching from the doorway, wide-eyed. For years they had called me weak, foolish, lost. But in the roar of the storm, they saw the truth. I was the one keeping them alive. By dawn, the sea was calm again. But the silence in the dining room was heavier than the night's waves. My mother's voice trembled as she whispered, "I've spent my life chasing control. Last night, I realized none of it matters." My father finally looked at me, not with calculation, but with something closer to respect. Even my brother, his pride cracked, muttered, "I didn't know you could do that." When we docked in Nassau, my father stood beside me, hands clasped. After a long pause, he asked, "Same time next year?" I didn't flinch. "Yes. But this time, everyone gets an invitation." And that was it. They disembarked, stiff nods, tentative smiles, eyes that no longer saw me as the family failure. I stayed behind, walking to the bow as the sun rose gold across the water. For years, I dragged the weight of their judgment like an anchor, always trying to prove I was enough. But that morning, I finally understood. Success was never their definition to hand me. It was mine to claim. And I claimed it. So I'll ask you, because I need you to hear this. Who's holding the pen in your story? And when are you going to take it back?